This is Debs from Lucy's Library coming to you with The Passover Guest. And this is by Susan Kuzel and illustrated by Sean Rubin. And the original story was by a Polish Jew. It was written around turn of the century, last 1900s. And she just decided to make this set in DC because that's where she's from. And she thought that the Great Depression would be a good era. And honestly, I wasn't sure I wanted to get this book, but I love it. Love it, love it. So, this girl, it's the Great Depression. Dad lost his job. They don't have money for food, let alone for a proper Seder. So she is wandering DC, and she sees a poor juggler, street entertainer. And as she's watching him, things change. And here he is. And this is him after he's transformed. So he went from poor, it says, as she watched, his brown hair turned red. The eggs he juggled became blazing candles. His shabby clothes turned into those of the finest silk. Muriel was amazed. She took her only penny and put it in the hat at the man's feet. He smiled at her. The sun is setting. Passover is about to start. You don't want to miss your Seder. My family isn't having one this year, Muriel answered. Are you sure? Asked the man. Perhaps you better hurry home. Look at this. She talks before this about how she loves the Lincoln Monument. Look at that. The Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument. There she is putting her coin in his cup. So we're going to fast forward. She hurries home, and she gets home to Mom and Dad, and they're dressed in their finest, and they don't have any food on the table. So they're saying, certainly somebody will take us in. Let's go celebrate Passover at somebody else's house. And then there's a knock on the door. The girl answers, and it's the magician. And he asks if he can share in their Passover. And the father's like, well, yes, of course you can, except we don't have anything. And the man says, I have it all. And then, suddenly, in their living room, there's Muriel in shock because the food has shown up. There was even a beautiful cup of wine for Elijah. Muriel hadn't realized she was hungry, but now she wanted to eat everything, even the horseradish. And then it goes on to say that Dad had, some concerns. How is this possible? Her father asked. He sounded nervous. Everything is possible on Passover, answered the man. So then she offers to go ask the rabbi, can we eat this meal? The rabbi says, well, let me come see it. If it's tangible, then yeah, it's a miracle. So they head back to her house, and all of these people follow them. And here's Muriel going into her house. And here's the blue cat. The blue cat's on every page, so that's just a fun thing you can do with your kid. Let's find the blue cat. I don't know why he's blue. Everyone crowded into the tiny house. They all managed to fit inside as the rabbi examined the table. They watched as the wine poured itself. And then the middle matzah broke in two and became the afikomen the children would look for later. The rabbi picked up a piece of matzah, crumbled it in his hands, and then blessed the meal. This is not illusion, he said, but a Passover miracle. We may all enjoy this beautiful feast. So here is, where is she? There's Muriel and the rabbi, and look, you can see the wine is pouring itself, the matzah is breaking, and so everybody forgets their seders, and they have Seder at Muriel's house. And then Muriel realized that in all the excitement, they had forgotten to open the door for Elijah, but when she looked at his cup, there was not a drop of wine in it. There she is. Everybody's having such a good time, they forgot to open the door for Elijah. And that is part of the Jewish tradition. And then it goes on to say, now she knew who the mysterious stranger was. So, in this fun story, the mysterious stranger is Elijah. Now, I don't think he was wandering DC to show up at the Seder, but it is just a fun story of a Passover miracle that I just love.